everyone, and welcome back to the currency game. I had a lot going on this weekend with my daughter going off to college, so I am running late with doing a video for the week. But which is I think is still pretty okay. We haven't made we made a major retracement, but I think whoever is ever to catch this video at this point could make some good analysis and or confirmations. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and just start with Ethereum because that is the trade that I am in, and just show you how I decided to get into it and where we go from there. All right, so I'm looking at the 15-minute time frame, and if I go to the higher time frame, like the hour, you can kind of see. So it's basically within this range between this upper parallel channel and this lower. So if it were to break out of this lower one, the next area of opportunity is in this bottom parallel. So hopefully, I'm hoping that it doesn't drop down because I am in this trade. And basically, I just let it come back down, made a little double bottom right here, and that was my high. I had an alert here. Then let me just kind of zoom in. So right here, I had an alert above here to see if it was going to go any higher, and below this one right here, then it came down to here, and I kept bringing the alert down as it would come down below those lower candlesticks, and then as it hit this point, this is how I'll know when I'm hitting like that double bottom or whatever. I just keep moving the top and the bottom alerts, and then once it broke this alert right here, this candle area right here, right, that's when I decided to jump in. All right, so that's how I got into the trade. And if you were to look at, I'm below 2%, right? So I currently have my stop loss right below this double bottom, right below this double bottom right here. And let me hit lock before I'm messing stuff up. So currently right now I have an alert right around the area where I got in at, and then right above this candle, this green candle right here. So it could try to do a little liquidation, but that's okay because remember I have my stop right here. I don't have a stop loss in right yet, but I do have an alert so that if it starts coming too far down, I might go ahead and put a stop loss in. So, which will give me enough time to jump back in if it were to try to go back the other direction. And if it were to break out of this parallel that's going, at the top of this retracement, my first target is right here, which is at 6,000. I don't know, but first target is at the 100% level. Let me stop that. Is at the 100% level, which is at 47.87. If it wants to bypass that, then 127, which is at 49.06. If it bypass that, then at what is that? No, that's not 6,000. 5,062, which I would probably set the target at 5,000. if it passes the 127. Or if it's going too fast, then I might just start moving up my stop limit so I can catch different profits. So that is the plan for, and if you notice that this 100% level is the all-time high, so probably catch a little bit of that area of right above there. I'm thinking that it's probably going to go to. Doesn't mean that it will go there. That is just my thoughts. All right, so that is for Ethereum. Let's go to Bitcoin. Let's see what Bitcoin is doing. All right, so it is on this bottom parallel channel right now, bouncing in between the 50% level and 61. I need to move my alert up. So I'll move it right above this 61%, which is at 116,804. And then I want to know if it's going to go past this high right here. So which is at 119,455. All right, so the only concern I have for the Bitcoin chart is, it doesn't mean that it is a major concern, is this, it appears to look like a double top up here, like a little liquidation happened right here over this high right here. So I want to see, is it going to, is it really going to prove itself to be a double top, and is it going to try to come out of this bottom parallel? All right, so that's why I want to check up on that to see how the movement is for Bitcoin. If it were to bypass this high, then of course the next level I'm looking at is in between here and 138,000. So which I think the last video I was saying that if it was to make it past this area right here, this resistance area, which I was saying that the first resistance area was the 50% level. So, and it was right in here on the last video. And I said then my next resistance area is the 78% level, which was right up in here. And so it kind of a little bit bypassed that, and then it came back here, and if it cannot like bypass this area, then I'm expecting it to go further down. So that would be, maybe a possibility for a short if you were thinking about a short. I like to enter, if I am going to enter short, I typically only like to focus on long trades, so that's why I'm more focused on Ethereum than Bitcoin short. And I typically don't really trade Bitcoin. Only time I really want to focus on trading Bitcoin is when I feel like it has really reached a major top, and it could be at that point right now. I don't know for sure. And then that's when I would want to enter a short. And short meaning making a profit off of the price going down versus making the profit off of the price going up. All right, so that does it for Bitcoin. And then let's look at XRP and XLM. Let's check out XRP first. So, all right, so it's kind of like somewhat staying on this bottom parallel area. So when I see things like this where it kind of really came out, that's when I will adjust the bottom, the parallel channel, to kind of align with it so that I'm staying in line with what is happening on the chart. So if you notice, if I zoom in, if it will allow me, right? So the bottom right here is lined up with this bottom of this channel, and the bottom at the beginning is lined up with this channel. So that's why I like using parallel channels versus just trend lines. And then I see this support area. I want to see if it can remain above this support area. I do probably want to move this alert a little bit up to here, right above that green support area that I have marked out, which is at 3.0240. Boom. So if it were to hit that area, I will know. I could also put an alert right above this candle, the tallest candle in this little area right here, which is right in here. So, and put one there just to see if it's going to go past here. I'm not in this trade, but I did look at what its potential is if it were to try to come out of here. I think maybe between $4 and a little over $4. Not saying that it wouldn't go higher, but that's what I would be targeting if I was in that trade, and that would be 28%, which I might actually consider that because Ethereum if it were to, let me go to the hourly. Since I'm still somewhat in profit mode, let me see, 13, XRP is looking a little bit more, let me see, like if it just kept going to here to 127, that's 50. That's why I stayed in. That was the reason. Like if I could just keep, like if it were to just keep, because it has not hit the all-time high yet, and if it were to bypass, that's why I decided to stay in Ethereum versus XRP. It's coming back to me. So let's go to XLM. All right, so we're on the hourly chart, and I have an alert using this horizontal ray for when it were, and it's which is right on the 50% level, to see if it can make it past there, or is that 50% level is still going to serve as resistance. And then an alert right below this last support area right here. So I'm not in this trade, but I'm just trying to just keep track of what's happening. I'm also keeping track of the trends right here. We did have somewhat of a double top right here, so that could possibly potentially make this come down a little bit more. Not for sure, I just want to see. I am taking note of it, and that's a double top on the hourly. So, which as you see up here, you have a double top up here, and it kind of did this number and came back down and just kept, right? So it could do the same thing with this double top right in here. So that is it. So we went over Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, XLM. Those are the main ones that I'm focused on. And you probably could take a look at Solana if you were interested in trading meme coins. If I were to go to the 4-hour chart, that could look like a somewhat of a double top, not quite. This is a little bit higher. So I wouldn't want to get in this, and for me personally, I would want this to come down and try to at least hit, either bounce off of this, see if it's going to bounce off of this 50% area and make that a support, or come down to this green bottom parallel trend. That's me personally, not saying that's what you should do, but that will do it for this chart analysis. Thank you, and if you have any questions, please leave me in the comments.